What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Revival. My name is JJ, and it's time for another collection video. This time, Wii U. Okay, so first thing I want to get out of the way is that I genuinely enjoyed the Wii U as a console. I think it had a lot of fun things to offer. I think the ideas were innovative, as we can tell. Like it's kind of like a I think I've heard this, like plenty of people like compared to this, but like almost like a an early prototype for the Switch. Where they have you can play it handheld or on the TV. I just don't know that we were necessarily ready for it at the time, and I don't know that it was implemented in the best way. I think it was kind of one of those like, oh, we should totally do this, and they had like one or two games in mind where they were like, you can play golf with, you know, putting your pad on the ground and then, you know, swinging it like that, and with the second screen and whatnot, and you can lay on your couch. And didn't think very far beyond that. But I think there were some genuinely fun games to come out of it, and I actually really enjoyed it, and I still, you know, fire it up from time to time. I also really liked the eShop that they had on there. I loved having the Virtual Console. I thought it was, you know, it was a step up from the regular Wii, and frankly, it was great for. Like, this is why I want more RPGs on the Switch, because there's so many grind-heavy Super Nintendo RPGs and stuff that I love, but playing them on your big TV, like just grinding EXP, like you play Phantasy Star or something, it's like just sitting there over and over again doing the same thing over and over again. It's just not fun, to me at least. So it was really nice to be able to transfer it to the mini screen and be able to lay on the couch and just play it that way. So, and I'm really glad that we're seeing that with the Switch with a handful of those games as well. So I would love to see more of those games come out for that, so I can do the same. Don't get me wrong, I like Super Nintendo Classic. I hacked mine and I've got a bunch of RPGs on there, and it's still great. But that was kind of one of the things that really drew me to it, was being able to play that in handheld mode. When I'm grinding, and that way I can have my big TV to watch Netflix or, you know, something else like that. Why don't we just get into the games? All right. I have a feeling this is probably going to be 2 videos long, because you know me, I tend to ramble. So I've kind of split them up as best I could. So we'll see how it goes. So first up, we've got Hyrule Warriors. This is, it's like the Dynasty Warriors Zelda thing. Where you're basically going around a giant map and you're fighting tons and tons of waves of enemies. And you get a bunch of characters, and they all have their own different abilities and stuff, and this one happened to take place in the Zelda universe. I really enjoyed this game. For some reason though, like, almost like in a way Animal Crossing is for me, where I loved the idea, and I had a really good time with it in the beginning, and then I just stopped. I honestly don't know. I just kind of fell off the wagon and didn't really want to play anymore. Maybe because it was a little repetitive. But I think the argument against that would be like, there's so many other characters to play as and so many different play styles you can choose from and everything. Because I think the concept is really cool. It's clearing out this giant map of enemies and all this stuff. And I would like to, one day I think I'd like to revisit this. I think it's out on Switch too. But be able to play it multiplayer with somebody and kind of tag team it if I could. The only problem is, like, I wish there was online multiplayer, and if I remember correctly, there wasn't, which was kind of, you know, kind of a bummer. So, but I really did enjoy this game. I just, you know, didn't play it very long for one reason or another. Next one, game that I got when I got the system, that is Zombie U. It has since come out on other platforms, I believe, just as Zombie. I did eventually beat this game. It's super short. It's okay. It was kind of a way to showcase the tablet controller as well, being able to aim and like kind of, you know, look at like night vision and that kind of stuff in dark places, and you know, jump scares and everything like that, and you use it as a radar and everything, and honestly a pretty neat implementation of the controller. So this is one of the good examples, I think, even though the game itself was kind of meh, not exactly my cup of tea, but you know, I still did finish it, and you know, I think there were some innovative things there. It was good for when it first came out, and really helped you to let you know what the system could do, which they didn't do very much with at all. So yeah. Next, a game that I honestly think is criminally underappreciated, and that is Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. I remember why I bought this game. It was because I wanted Mario Kart, and Mario Kart wasn't out at the time, so I was like, all right, I'll get it, I'll try it out. Man, I loved this game. I had so much fun with it. It was a really great substitute for it. So I was super excited when I started playing, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually pretty fun. It's you know, Sonic characters just racing, and kind of the same thing. You're shooting missiles at each other and trying to knock other cars off the road, and just, it's Mario Kart with Sonic characters. And it plays really well. I really like this one. So yeah, there was a newer one that came out for Sonic, and it wasn't as great, but this one I remember actually having a lot of fun with. Next one is Splatoon. I did enjoy this game. I did. Just not as much as so many other people seem to. I didn't play it very much. And again, a lot of this is kind of the problem with a lot of Nintendo games for me nowadays, because they're really focused on multiplayer being the best experience, whether it's couch co-op or online. More often than not couch co-op, in this case online, and not having like voice chat and that kind of stuff. Just not like, and I didn't really know anybody else who played it as well. It just wasn't really my cup of tea. I thought the concept was kind of neat. I had some fun with it in the beginning, but Splatoon, same with Splatoon 2. Honestly, I would love to get into Splatoon 2 more often. So if anybody plays it, I would love to you know, do some matches every now and then. I really like the salmon run on the new one, because I love co-op. So, friend codes? But anyways, so regular Splatoon, not my cup of tea, but definitely a game that I can appreciate and did have some fun with. Paper Mario Color Splash. I'll admit I have not played this one. As is tradition with my stuff, there are games that I have not played, but would like to get to at some point. This is one of those. And that's mainly because the Paper Mario games I want to get more into, and I saw this was out, and I was like, I'm picking it up, and I'm going to get to it at some point. Plus, I mean, look at that. The box art's just really cool looking and really pretty. And all the Paper Mario games, honestly, have really cool aesthetics. And I love the way they look, so I'm definitely looking forward to getting into this at some point. I hear the 3DS one isn't the greatest. But hopefully, I don't know much about that one, so if you know anything, next is, honestly, probably the game I've spent the most time with on my Wii U, and that is Nintendo Land. I wish they would have come out with a game like this for the Switch. The minigames in this are so fun. Like the Metroid one, if you've got other people to play with, you've got one guy flying around shooting at, you know, aliens or whatever you were fighting against, along with like 3 other people who are like using grappling hooks to zip around the map and stuff while you're taking stuff out. There's the Mario like hide and seek thing that they had on there. What else? Gosh, the Luigi's Mansion thing was really fun. The Legend of Zelda was really good. I mean, there were a lot of... I haven't played this in so long, so my mind's kind of blanking, but I'm looking at oh my god, the Animal Crossing Sweet Day one is one of the funniest things. If you've got a group of 4 people, it is hysterical to just watch somebody pile up on fruit, and as soon as the person that's supposed to catch them gets near, you just watch them just unload all their fruit so they can run away real quick. If you've played it, you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, you probably think I'm a whack job right now. It's really fun, though. Seriously. So I had so much fun with this. It is such a blast. And if you have a Wii U and you don't, I think I'm 99% sure this came with it. I don't know if the later models still came with it, but man, this is an absolute blast, especially if you've got people to play with. And I would honestly still love to just have people to play with on this to this day, because it was just so much fun. It was great. So yeah, Untitled Land. Next one, honestly, one of my favorite games on this system, and controversial, my favorite Xenoblade Chronicles game, and that's Xenoblade Chronicles X. The exploration in this game is spectacular. The reason I like it better than the original Xenoblade Chronicles is because you actually have vehicles and can travel quickly from one place to the next, whereas in the original, no, you had to walk everywhere, and I wasn't a fan of that. I adored my time with this game. It was an absolute blast. I cannot recommend this enough. I hope they do a remaster or something and bring it to the Switch, because I will 100% replay it. I remember my buddy Brian, who, honestly, he said he was going to try it, and I was like, oh, really? Oh, okay, all right. And he did, and he did even more than I did. Like, he did everything, got the ultimate mech, and, like, went to town on this game. The music's hit or miss. Some of it's spectacular, and some of it's not good at all. But honestly, like, just the exploration factor in this game is just, it's amazing, and the world feels so alive and lived in it. It's just was an absolute pleasure to play. Definitely, like I said, they make a remaster of this, it's something I would go back to in a heartbeat. Absolutely. So, Xenoblade Chronicles X. So yes, I like it better than the others. I'm sorry. Next up, Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess HD. I have not played this yet. I have played about 10 minutes of the original Twilight Princess. But I'm looking forward to it. I got this because I was like, you know, I haven't finished that game, so may as well get the HD version. So here it is. And I'll get to it at some point, for sure, because I definitely do want to try it out. So yeah, eventually I will get to this. Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword are the two that, like, I don't hear too much about, as far as like I don't know which one's great and which one's not great, but I know that I've heard people say both about both, so I don't know. But I definitely do want to check this out at some point. Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE, Fire Emblem. Have not played it yet, but it's Persona and Fire Emblem. I had not, when I got this, played a Persona game yet, but I had played a Fire Emblem. Well, several Fire Emblems. And I just thought it kind of sounded neat. So I definitely want to check this out at some point. I do believe it came to the Switch, so I will probably check it out on there when I do eventually get to it. And I want to play a few more of the Persona games before I do. That way I can get a little more familiar with the characters. So hopefully I'll get there at some point. But I really don't know too much about it, other than I was like, oh, it's kind of an RPG, sure. I picked it up. Breath of the Wild. Have not played it on Wii U, but on the Switch, amazing game. Spectacular. Easily, in my opinion, the best Zelda. My favorite Zelda is always going to be Link to the Past, but this is, I feel like, the best Zelda. Just a masterful game. The world is huge, open, do what you want to do in the Zelda universe, and it's just a wonderful experience. And I think it's great that they brought it out on Wii U still. That way people who didn't get a Switch right away could still end up playing it. I think I had gotten this because of that reason, because I hadn't had a Switch at the time, and I was like, well, I kind of do really want to play it, but I didn't actually play it until I got my Switch. So now I just have this, but very, very incredible game. I would imagine more people probably have it on Switch at this point, so if you have a Switch, or if you have a Wii U, check it out, because it's amazing. Another Zelda, Wind Waker HD. Fantastic game. I played it on the GameCube years ago, but I never finished it. When I went back and played it here, they made some quality of life changes that I really, really liked, like the boat speed and that kind of stuff. And I really enjoyed it. And it has a pretty, like, crazy ending. A little more violent than I would have expected from the way the game looks and from a Nintendo game. But it's a really, really cool experience, and quite frankly, the art is just absolutely beautiful. So I definitely recommend the Wind Waker for sure, if you're a Zelda fan at all, and you had the chance to try it out on GameCube or Wii U. Either way, it is good stuff. Next game I still haven't finished. I've been playing it with my buddy Brandon like once in a blue moon. We'll get a little bit farther. This game's tough. It's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I may get it on Switch at some point, just try and do it there. But this game is tough. It's not an easy game at all. But it is fun, and I'd like to finish it at some point. It's like Donkey Kong Country, the original, wasn't really that hard of a game. And so, like, once I got into this, that's kind of what I was expecting difficulty-wise. No, this is way tougher. This is like old school Nintendo tough. But it is a very, very cool looking game, very beautiful, and a lot of fun, especially if you got somebody to play with and you do a little co-op action. It's a good time, so definitely recommend checking out Tropical Freeze if you're a Donkey Kong fan. Donkey Kong Country fan, I should say. And finally for this video, a game that I just saw on the cheap that I haven't even taken out of the plastic wrap, but I saw it and it looked like a cute little puzzle game that was really cheap, called Tumblestone. I honestly don't know much about it other than it looks like not a Tetris clone, but like where you're moving colored blocks and stuff like that. And I thought the artwork on the box was interesting, colorful, and I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. So I was like, yeah, you know what? It's super cheap. I can't remember how much it was. I just remember that's why I picked it up, was because it was cheap. And I figured, why not? I'll grab it. So I'll check it out at some point, I'm sure. Yeah, so that's part one of my Wii U collection. I've still got a handful here, and I will definitely check in with you next week to go over the rest of that. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, keep on gaming.